It is Monday, December the 23rd in the year 2024. This is the Rich Lieberman Bay Area Media Pulse. I have some news for you, and it's kind of unfortunate. But apparently, according to some of my moles at KCBS, they cut two, well, I want to say prominent, but somewhat notable on air personnel, and that is Pat Thurston and Liz St. John. These are primarily people on the weekend anchors and reporters, but mainly anchors. Thurston uh, was set kind of a niche from around two to seven during the weekend, and Liz St. John was all over the place. They put her everywhere, but apparently they were given news. And I say apparently because it's not official yet. They haven't said anything, but they have been absent the airwaves for a few weeks now. And a source close to the situation told me that Pat Thurston and Liz St. John were not on the schedule and were basically laid off. Now, this has to do with the new regime at KCBS. Technically Jenny Selig's still there, but they brought in the new guy from Washington D.C. and he also worked in Dallas and so forth. And in any event, and they brought in a new anchor from New York, a prominent new anchor named Steve Scott, who those of you who listen to KCBS, he's been doing a lot of fill-in work. He's been doing a lot of morning anchoring and afternoon. I'm not going to say it's etched in stone yet. I think Steve Scott is probably headed to the morning drive. Just a hunch. But that's not the story yet. Thurston, one of the two that was apparently let go, along with Liz St. John. Of course, Pat Thurston, very prominent Bay Area radio broadcaster, anchor, talk show host at KGO, which she began working at KCBS in October of 2022 and was a victim of the prominent KGO ousters that took place earlier in the month of October 2022. So she'd been working at KCBS, developed a niche. Let me just say this about both of these. First and foremost, look, it's a tough situation when you get laid off. It's extremely tough. And, I think Pat Thurston's going to be all right financially. I think she's well established. She's, got a very, very prominent family, that kind of a thing. But, and I think Pat did a good job, not a great job. I think she probably maybe KGO'd herself at KCBS. And I don't think that they wanted that. And I think they were looking for a change to begin with as they make all these changes. And there are going to be more prominent changes coming up in January when this Steve Scott guy, I think he's headed to the morning, but he could go anywhere. Looks like Holly Kwan is probably about to retire or whatever, take a payout, buyout, whatever. And he could very well be from 10 to 2 and do midday. Steve Scott, who you've heard on the air now, came from New York, WCBS, which has gone Sports Talk, ESPN New York. But Pat, I think, to her defense, just caught the radio situation, particularly Odyssey, which owns KCBS, another station, 95.7 The Game in the Bay Area. And like everybody else, terrestrial radio is a dying concept now. It just is not in the cards. Therefore, the budgets are smaller. And even as lousy an operation as KCBS is, they are looking to obviously shed more people, which means less money, which means a more meaner, leaner, whatever they want to call it, operation. So Pat Thurston, I guess, is just not on their radar. Liz St. John, not a big fan. She came from an FM station where she was like a jock. She'd worked at KCBS, I believe, for almost a decade. Not a big fan. I wasn't her style that kind of grated me. So she's gone, apparently. And they'll do now with various fill ins, but also people that are just basically on their radar that will be left to carry on. I've been told there's major changes coming in January, which is what, a couple weeks away? Not even that. So I'm on this. I know people have, looked at me and, they understand my critiquing, my less than flattering remarks about KCBS. But these two individuals, not great. Uh, but prominent enough in today's environment that you have to go out and say what has been undertaken. And these two individuals are no longer at KCBS, Pat Thurston and Liz St. John. Okay, moving forward. So I am going to put on a Tuesday Christmas Eve broadcast and also Christmas Day, a very special Christmas Day. I may even take some calls. I will definitely take some texts if you so desire. Um, and I again made a big deal about it the other day. I was not planning on doing a show because, frankly, the response to my attempt, my request to get a few contributions into this site so I can continue to give you the information and the live shows that you get here on YouTube afloat, I asked for contributions. And I want to say thank you to the few of you who are very, very nice and generous who contributed. There are some people who have made multiple contributions because they understand that although they may not love me or like me or whatever the case is, I am here giving you live content. I know a lot of you say, well, big deal. Well, it's a big deal if you're watching right now. And because nobody else does what I do, at least on this end, and enables me, your contributions, to live. Yes. To survive. Yes. I'm not a cure for terminal diseases. I've said that. But I do, like to think, like you, especially during the holidays, it's nice to have a little bit of a cheer, don't you think? Or if you don't have a cheer, at least something that you can kind of giggle about and say, wow, that was kind of cool. I'm no different than anybody else. I'm human for the most part. I do like a little cheer every now and then, or in my case, a little survival tip, like a good cup of coffee or something. So in any event, I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate those of you who have come here. I've only been doing this now barely over a year. And for a variety of reasons, the written blog has gone kaput. This is an easier kind of a mode for me right now. I'd like to think that I can be entertaining every now and then, or downright awkward, or oh my God, look at this guy. Look at these. These are getting, yeah, God, oh boy, put them back like this. Okay. So anyway, what else I was going to say? Oh yeah. So this is Monday, and it is about the deadest week that you can have. And the fact that Christmas is on a Wednesday this year, and I know, the whole calendar dictates that it's been on Wednesdays before, but in any event, most people are off. A lot of you folks are working, which is thank God. But it just feels like, the freeways are light. The weather's kind of and supposed to be crappy after a dry Christmas day. But we have our rain, we have our storm doors open, kind of a deal. But it's just to a positive effect, it feels like Christmas, right? You got the gray, and it's not snowing or anything like that, obviously, but there's a definite winter, Christmas, snowy, even though it's not snowing, kind of a feeling. And a lot of people, again, are doing last minute shopping for me, right? Okay. No Kia pets allowed. I don't want that. Somebody, try to be funny and Kia. Nah, I'm not that desperate yet. In any event, but yeah, it feels like a dead week, which it is. And I know tomorrow it's going to be downright barren. And of course, the big day, Christmas, the 25th, and that kind of a thing. So, once again, if you can contribute, donate to this site, and you go to the PayPal icon on the right side of the vlog, my YouTube, please do so. I will personally thank you if you just click on the icon, and it takes but a minute. Any contribution, any amount is most welcome. And again, I thank you from the bottom of my heart, even if I don't have one every now and then, for your supporting me, which is supporting my 415 media and my ability to get you information, opinion, and various takes on the news and developments here in the Bay Area and, dare I say, beyond. So, I will, if you follow me on Twitter, X, I will definitely get you the time and date as to my next show. And have a really, really good holiday, and we'll see you a little later. Okay?